In a quiet, secluded backyard, a dog collapsed, exhausted and seemingly ready to give up on life. She had been through so much hardship that it appeared her journey was coming to a tragic end. The physical and mental exhaustion caused him to seemingly give up, thinking that this would be his final resting place. This situation represents the utter helplessness and suffering that homeless dogs face every day. But what she didn't realize was that her life was just about to take a beautiful turn. Just when the dog thought her days were numbered, she was found by a kind-hearted person who refused to let her story end there. The rescue effort that followed not only saved her life, but also marked the beginning of a new chapter filled with love, care, and warmth. After being rescued, the dog went through a difficult but meaningful recovery process. From a dog that almost gave up, he gradually regained his health and spirit thanks to dedicated care. What seemed like the end was actually a new beginning, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always a chance for renewal and hope.
A gentleman knocked on our door and he had a kitten.
The cat had found itself in a near impossible situation with its head stuck in a rock.
She was worn out, she didn't have a lot of energy left, and I think pretty quickly...
The sight of the small, frightened cat clinging to life in such a dire situation was truly heart-wrenching and nerve-wracking.
And a hardened...
The firefighters showed great courage and skill in reaching and rescuing the cat.
Then went to a reciprocating saw.
They faced many difficulties, but they did not give up, using all the tools and knowledge they had to get the cat out of danger. Their focus and determination in carrying out the task was admirable.
A pair of pliers on stage,
demonstrating the spirit of helping not only humans but also animals.
Not hurt the kitten.
When the firefighters finally got the cat out of danger, it was an emotional moment. The feeling of tension turned to joy and relief, not only for the rescue team, but for all who witnessed the rescue. The cat, although possibly frightened, was safe and cared for afterward.
So we just shortened it to Loco. We're on our way.
and she was pretty much just content.
This moment reminds us that every life is valuable and worth protecting.
We just decided to do a Facebook post.
A badly injured cat abandoned in a trash can shows the level of indifference and cruelty of some people. Instead of seeking help or even taking the cat to a safe place, people chose to abandon it as a worthless object. This situation evokes anger and sadness when thinking about the pain that the cat had to endure in the cold and loneliness. The cat was in a very critical condition, requiring immediate medical attention. The wound on the cat's body could have caused terrible pain, and being abandoned in a trash can only made the situation worse. The feeling of being abandoned in this desperate state is a terrible ordeal for any living being. However, in the worst of situations, there can still be a glimmer of hope if the cat is found in time by compassionate people. The act of discovering and rescuing the cat from the trash can not only save a living being, but also show the value of compassion and responsibility. Rescuers can help a cat not only escape death, but also put it on the path to recovery and a better life. Every act of help can bring hope and change the life of a helpless creature. A cat's survival depends on the intervention of kind and determined people. A frail and emaciated cat with claws that were as worn and broken as old branches, cried out desperately for help. The image of this poor creature struggling to survive paints a vivid picture of the harsh realities faced by many stray animals. The broken claws tell a silent story of the cat's attempts to survive, likely from trying to scratch for food or escape from dangerous situations. Each broken claw represents a moment of pain and a struggle for life. The fact that the cat is crying out, despite its frail condition, shows just how dire its situation has become. This isn't just a physical cry, but a call for someone, anyone, to notice and help. The cat's skeletal frame, barely clinging to life, is a powerful reminder of the suffering that many animals endure on the streets. Despite the cat's dire condition, stories like these often end with hope, if someone can hear the cries and respond. The broken claws, the skinny frame, all these signs of suffering can begin to heal with proper care, love, and attention. The act of rescuing such a vulnerable creature can transform not only the animal's life, but also touch the lives of those who choose to help. The smallest act of kindness can save a life and bring hope where there was none. For over a decade, a dog lived in unimaginable conditions, confined to a dark, cramped cage, forced to eat her own excrement just to survive. The years of neglect and abuse took a severe toll on her body and spirit. She was so broken that when rescuers finally reached her, she sobbed like a baby, expressing years of pent-up despair and pain. Living in such harsh conditions, the dog's physical state had deteriorated terribly. Her fur was matted, her body weak and emaciated from years of malnutrition, and her eyes reflected then the trauma of a decade spent in darkness and solitude. However, this story takes a hopeful turn when compassionate rescuers, driven by their love for animals, discovered her plight. The moment they opened her cage and lifted her out, she sobbed uncontrollably, not out of fear, but perhaps out of relief that her nightmare was finally over. The rescuers treated her gently, reassuring her that she was safe and that her life would never return to the darkness she had known. The road to recovery for this dog was long and required immense patience and care. Slowly, with proper nutrition, medical treatment, and most importantly, love, she began to heal. The once emaciated dog started to gain weight, her fur became healthier, and she began to trust humans again. It emphasizes the importance of vigilance and compassion in recognizing and responding to the suffering of animals in need.